Alright, I am back with a reaction video to the Ubisoft show, as I've heard it's pronounced now, which is why they say a Ubisoft original instead of an Ubisoft original. That confused my grammar sensibilities there for a bit, as they are now labeling all their games with that. The Ubisoft shows never really are like the standout thing of E3, but they have been kind of a consistent presence there when Activision and EA have kind of broken off and have done their own thing. This is probably the worst Ubisoft show I can remember in a very long time, at least for me personally, in terms of what was shown and what actually caught my eye, which was almost nothing in the entire showcase. I just wanted to do kind of just brief reactions on all the stuff they touched on and why almost all of it just didn't really click for me. Again, a lot of this is personal preference. I know some of these series have their kind of core fans, but for me personally, so much about this just didn't really land or hook me. We started off with literally a 15-minute out of the 60-minute presentation focused only on Rainbow Six Extraction, which is a new co-op, essentially zombie fighting game. I guess they're aliens, but they function like zombies more or less, and set in the Rainbow Six universe, whatever that means at this point. It is different than obviously, Rainbow Six Siege, which is PvP focused. This is co-op and trying to channel Left 4 Dead to a certain extent. They showed a cinematic trailer, and then they talked about it, and then they showed an extended gameplay look, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to pad out the hour, but like having all of that and having it be a quarter of the entire show seemed weird. I don't know. It doesn't really look like something that interests me. I've just never really been into that kind of, 4-player co-op zombie killing thing. But like even for people that are like, isn't the appeal of like Left 4 Dead like tons and tons of zombies like falling at you and like doing like mowing them down and stuff? And this is like stealth assassinating alien zombies, which seems kind of weird, and like destroying their creep tumors, and I don't know, it just doesn't really seem appealing to me, but who knows, maybe that will find an audience. Then they went into Rocksmith Plus, which is a new, I don't know if you can call it a game, it's like a gamified version of music lessons essentially. There's like an original Rocksmith, which I didn't even know existed before this, which kind of teaches you like guitar and stuff. This teaches you guitar and bass and acoustic guitar and stuff. But now they've turned it into a subscription service. I don't know. That's cool, I guess. Like it seems very, very niche. Like this isn't Guitar Hero or anything like that. It's entirely its own thing. It is very cool in concept. It just felt a little out of place in a show like this. Then we moved on to Riders Republic, which is kind of a extreme sports amalgam of all these different things, biking and snowboarding and wingsuiting. I don't know. Like I haven't played kind of many extreme sports games in a long time since like they remade Tony Hawk. Maybe that will find an audience too, but it's not me. The giant races looked kind of cool, I guess, where they have just a bazillion people. Presumably you can't just like all crash into each other and tank everyone, but I guess we'll see. And then that was like the first 30 minutes of the show, essentially. That was all of that. And then they talked about like Rainbow Six Siege getting crossplay across between Stadia and Luna and PC. So, that's a thing that's happening. I guess that means Stadia will live until 18 days from now when that launches. They showed like a story trailer. There's a bear in it. I don't know. I'm a little behind. They showed like a singular clip of Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell. Spoiler alert, there was nothing resembling Splinter Cell news in this entire presentation. That's the thing everyone's hoping for. But like, yeah, this presentation is kind of also about what's missing. I'll get into that at the end here. It's a new Just Dance game. I didn't know who that guy was who was talking about it. There you go. And so, okay, now that we get to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which this is such a curious game because it was such a massive hit for Ubisoft that they essentially just turned it into a live service. I don't know if that was the original plan for it, but like it was so popular, and then follow-up content did really well for it. This is for the first time ever they are supporting the game into year 2, and they showed off this new big Invasion of Paris expansion. As you may have heard from my writing, like I kind of bounced off. I put like 30 hours or something into Valhalla, and it just seems like it went on forever, and it kind of was all consuming. It came out during that really crowded holiday window, so I did have some early access to it, but then when all these other games came out, I kind of put it aside, and I've not really gone back to it since. I know people really love it. It didn't really land quite as much for me as Odyssey did. That was a game I put 100 hours into easy. But Valhalla, with all the content, I mean, 100 hours, 150 hours, 200 hours, like the sky is kind of the limit for that. And it's really fascinating to kind of see that quite literally turn into a live service game when obviously Assassin's Creed was the furthest thing from it when it first came out. And I do wonder if Valhalla doing so well and having all this follow-up content is in any way kind of delaying the next Assassin's Creed, kind of like GTA Online styles, delaying GTA 6 forever. Obviously, Valhalla's not that successful, but you kind of know what I mean. So I do think this will maybe push back the next Assassin's Creed game, whatever that may be. I don't know. I mean, that's probably fine. I don't think we need an Assassin's Creed game every 2 years. We used to be getting them every 1 year, and that was bad. So I don't know. I'm curious what the future of the franchise holds here, and if the next one does come around, if it's also going to try and be kind of a live service thing like this. So they're doing a Valhalla expansion with Odin and stuff for that. And then we get to, okay, so I am somewhat interested in Far Cry 6 just because I guess I just sort of automatically play every new Far Cry game. I like Giancarlo Esposito, he's great. But like this was a curious segment because they just kind of showed a cutscene essentially from the game where it looks like you're murdered by the dictator. I assume this is like one of the opening sequences, but I'm pretty sure one of those girls is the person you're playing as. But ironically, then they immediately start showing off their post-launch season pass content because, again, everything has got to be live service now. And this actually looked like the more interesting thing, where you have all these weird sort of dream sequences where you are playing as the past three Far Cry villains, Joseph Seed, the cult dude, Pagan Min, the guy king of Thailand or whatever that country was, fake Thailand, and then what's his name? Voss. Yeah, okay, Voss. Michael Mando is returning as Voss. He hinted at that previously. It's very cool to see, like, especially him come back and do new voice work for this role, because obviously he was a great character. I don't know what the hell is going on with this, like what the point kind of is. I did sort of enjoy the Voss perspective of the like dumb white kid from Far Cry 3, whatever was his name, Jason. I don't even remember what your name is in that game. Like trolling him, that was kind of interesting. That looked mildly cool. Like, I guess I'll have to buy Far Cry 6 to get access to that. And like, I don't know, depending on when Far Cry 6 comes out and what's going on, I will probably play that, but I haven't really like fallen head over heels for a Far Cry game probably ever, but they're always like okay, so I don't know. The probably one of the bigger announcements for this had already leaked because Nintendo announced the new Mario plus Rabbids game like early this morning, and then just left the listing online for 10 hours or so because they're Nintendo and they just do their own thing and don't care about anyone else really, so they're just like whatever. And Ubisoft can't get mad at them because they're Nintendo and they're letting them use their IP. I can't really, I don't really have an opinion on this because I know this game is popular and it has a kind of a dedicated fan base. I am like physically uncomfortable like looking at Rabbids and hearing their voices. Like they're like minions, but somehow more creepy. This is just like one franchise and character thing I've just never been into, but I'm not going to, disrespect people that like it. Maybe there's something redeeming about Rabbids that I'm missing. And it is cool that Nintendo has enough faith in Ubisoft to let them mess around with Mario, even if Mario is getting like blaster rifles and stuff, which is it's very weird. Now there's like a cat, tiger, Bowser. I don't know what's going on, but I guess people will play that and enjoy it. Probably not me though. And then so they showed something. They're like, okay, we're gonna show this like great looking thing in the Snowdrop engine. And I'm like, oh, are they gonna like go back to Beyond Good and Evil 2? Like, is that what they're gonna close with? No, it is the Avatar game, the long rumored Avatar game that is being developed by Massive. It has been developed by Massive for a number of years. Massive famously did both the Division 1 and 2. And then recently they have been gifted a Star Wars game. They have been working on this Avatar game forever. I assume it's like almost done, but James Cameron just never made any Avatar movies like after the other one. I assume there was some sort of plan to align the release of this game with the release of new Avatar sequels, but Avatar came out in 2009 and now it is 2021. Like, don't get me wrong, everything they showed here looked really good. I mean, again, it's a cinematic trailer, so be skeptical, but this it looked really gorgeous, like the environments, the character design, all that stuff. And yet it's like 2021 and like who is really asking for an Avatar game? Like, there's always kind of the running joke that like Avatar was like the biggest movie to have like almost no cultural impact. Like, can you name two characters from Avatar? Like, I can't. Jake Sully and starts with an N. I don't remember her name, but oh wait, Nefertiri, is that right? Okay, so I did name two, so I guess I disproved myself. But yeah, it is weird to release a Avatar game 12. Well, it'll be like 13 or 14 years later, probably by the time it does come out. So once upon a time, this may have seemed like a great kind of conceived project, but unless this just has like the most spectacular gameplay and story ever, like I don't really know like how much hype there is going to be generated around this. It's like Avatar, what's it called? Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. It's coming in 2022, and it'll clearly be here before the James Cameron movies. Every time I read a story about that, it's like James Cameron pushes the movies back like 3 years, and that just keeps happening indefinitely. And I'm sure the pandemic didn't help, so who knows? Maybe there will be some big Avatar renaissance, 4 or 5 years from now. But for now, like, this was just like the perfect close of like a pretty goofy show all around. And again, like it's kind of about what is missing here, where it's like, okay, no new Assassin's Creed, we're still doing Valhalla stuff. I get it. Still not making anything with Splinter Cell, even after fans have been dying to have Splinter Cell come back in some form for years now. Nothing on Skull and Bones, a game which has been delayed a million times and now is being like reworked. What's it being reworked into? We have no idea. And then nothing about Beyond Good and Evil 2, a game I am increasingly unsure of if it even exists or not. Because I don't remember, the premiere was a couple years ago now, and it was just cinematic, and we've heard literally nothing about it since. So we kind of have no idea what's going on with that, if that is going to materialize. Clearly nothing is ready to show, so that doesn't sound great. And then for me personally, the Ubisoft franchise I've been into quite consistently has been The Division. They did announce ahead of time The Division would not be at the show at all. There's more Division 2 content coming, and they are releasing Division 2 Heartlands, which, why wouldn't they talk about that? Like, it is in alpha right now, and like it's supposed to be under NDA and stuff, but like everyone knows it's essentially survival from the old Division and like kind of expanded, and like tons and tons of information is fully available about it online now. So like I don't know why they wouldn't mention it in a show where 50 minutes of the show are about Rainbow Six Extraction. So who knows? I was not engaged with 99% of this, just personally. Nothing jumped out at me as significant or spectacular. And like, if the Avatar game, if that was like a new IP, I probably would have been more excited about it just based on how it looked. But the fact that it is an Avatar game makes me deeply skeptical of the concept at its core. So who knows what's going on with that? Ubisoft is probably the second biggest show after Microsoft. I guess it depends if you count Nintendo's Direct as a show. I guess we should count it, even though it's just kind of another Direct, and they do those all the time. But I don't know. Ubisoft has kind of made marks in the past with like big announcements and big games, but that certainly did not happen here. Again, maybe we're just going to see kind of fewer announcements overall this year, is with the pandemic delaying things and whatever. But we just, nothing's going to beat the one reveal to rule them all, Elden Ring. So I guess we're kind of judging on a curve here. But that is my impressions of the Ubisoft show. Sorry, I'm never going to call it that. I'm too stuck in my ways now. And I will do probably another one of these for Microsoft tomorrow. Maybe Square Enix, if that's engaging. I'm not sure. We'll see. Actually, I might not even be around for Square Enix, but Microsoft's I'm going to try and definitely do one for. So check back tomorrow and I'll have that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.